So hello everybody, this is going to be a pottery film. I haven't used this as much as I would have liked. We're so busy making flower pots that I haven't gotten around to making a lot of my stoneware vases. But this is a little sprung arch kiln that we built. Let's see if I get in a little bit more as it gets darker. Sorry, isn't it amazing how much this can pick up? So this kiln has not been played with since the last firing, and I'm just showing the interior before I start setting the kiln. I love the old terms, setting a firing, drawing a firing is what you call taking it out. But so it's not a huge kiln, but this is going to get very, very hot. I guess what I'll do is I'll walk inside, and the weather's been so nice. We've been using this area for doing the glaze that has some wood ashes in it. I take Albany slip and add wood ashes to it to make my sort of alkaline glaze. Gonna turn on the light. Maybe this one too. So here we have a batch of vases. It's gonna be fun to get these up to a nice high temperature. And my daughter has been decorating. These are mugs that were made in the winter time last year by Sherry Stevens Grundon, who is up on Martha's Vineyard. Really nice mugs. She was at Weatheriggs Pottery in the north of England for a long time, and this is a typical Weatheriggs style mug. And then you can see that Elizabeth Wolff has put some nice, here's a turtle. Nice little rabbit. So this is cobalt. And Elizabeth has quite a bit more to work on here. These are all Sherry's mugs. So I think we're going to have enough for 2 firings out of that furnace. Look at that bear, isn't that cool? I think you're going to be able to see that. Let me turn it a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the camera, and I'll get back to you after I've set a little bit of the furnace. Okay, bye. So here we go again. I've done a little bit of work so far. Just to say, there are these fire mouths. That's a fire mouth right there. That's where the flame comes up, hits the ceiling, goes across the ceiling, and goes down into the fire trough. So, as you see in the back there, I'm being tighter closer to where all the stuff is coming, because you get really exciting results here. And then I'm leaving a lot of space so that the flame can come from here and wash across that bottom area. That bottom area is kind of the closest to being cool in the kiln. That pot in the back corner a lot of times doesn't really do very well. So, but this is prime time up here. So I'm about to put in the other shelf, and I'll put some more of the pots that, the one in the middle there, the lower, I wish I could have that up higher because it's such a nice thing. But this is sort of prime time right here. And up there's prime time, and when I put this shelf in, that'll be prime time. Okay, I'll show you a little bit more. Bye for now. So I've just been cleaning up at the burner ports, just getting everything out of the way. There's, a long time of having things sort of leaning up against this kiln. But those are the two fire mouths. And then I'm just going to bring a chair over and sit down so I can look in here before I start making the door. I put the first brick in and then I went, wait a minute, I haven't shown everybody. So lots of times in the past I've used pieces of wet clay for doing my cones, and you get there at 5 o'clock in the morning and go, oh look, they blew up. I mean, I'm just silly and whatever, but you can see I'm leaving lots of air for the flame to go over the top of the kiln. And more importantly, there's got to be a lot of space down here for letting everything go through. The other thing that I'm doing is I just made up my pottery teacher up in New Hampshire when I was a kid at High Mowing School was Mrs. Carl, and this is her celadon glaze. I've never made it up before, but I just thought it would be fun to make a few pieces with that. Elizabeth has decorated these mugs by Sherry Stevens-Grundon. The reason that pot still looks shiny is it was fired already, and I thought, oh, I'll just put a little more glaze on it because it looked a little thin. So this is a Tomba glaze. All of these glazes are very, very simple, high temperature glazes. My Sato glaze, I call it Sato, a lot of people in the South will call that an alkaline glaze, is 1/2 Albany slip, true Albany slip, I still have some, mixed with by volume. So say a cup of Albany slip and then a cup of screened wood ashes. And I haven't even de-lyed the wood ashes. So that makes for a very volatile alkaline glaze. We still have a little bit of blackbird clay, also known as Barnard, and that with some wood ashes is what this glaze is. And we call the one on the right here, we call that a Tomba because it's very much like the very simple, quiet glaze from near Kyoto. So this is, the splashing in the back there is taking a Sato glaze or an alkaline glaze and then just splashing a little bit of the darker iron glaze onto it. In the back there's a celadon rim. Again, this is a glaze I haven't tried, so I'm being very adventuresome here. And I'm just about to make up the door, and then we'll be starting the firing. Okay. So here's the magic of making pottery. It's late, early morning, late evening, early morning. And before I start putting the burners in, it sounds like this, and it looks like this. So here we go. It's 3:30, 3:45 in the morning, and I've just turned on the two burners. When you look at a furnace like this, and you notice a very short stack, and you notice that there's electricity set up to the burners, it's very likely that it is what would be called a positive atmosphere kiln. In other words, in a negative atmosphere kiln, you have a very tall chimney with a Venturi effect that's drawing the heat out of the kiln. So the negative pull from the chimney is what makes the flow work. And I call it flow because it's very much like hydraulics. The flame that goes into the kiln has to come out. So far this is just a an open pipe with an orifice and some propane going through it. But we're going to add fans, and you'll see what happens as we add the fan. That flame is now getting more oxygen and is being pushed a little deeper into the furnace. You notice how much more yellow it was before? And I'm leaving it still pretty yellow. I'm not going very strong. Just to show the difference, here's the one without any oxygen added. And here's the one with the oxygen added. And we're not kicking it awfully hard right now. We're just... The thing that's so cool is everything that's in this furnace has gone through a biscuit firing. So if I was starting it this aggressively, with raw pots in there, not right now, but within 5 minutes we'd be hearing things going boom, boom, boom on the inside. It's an awful sound when you hear that. It's like glug, glug. Like I said, I don't want to go too far with this. That's pretty aggressive right now. Looks like this fan has gone off. Okay, talk to you guys later. So here we are at about 11 o'clock in the morning. I think we're somewhere at about, I don't know, by the color I would say we're something like 015. It's not very high, but it's moving along. The thing that you can tell temperature bar is the color inside the fire mouth, where it's bouncing up against the baffle. See how bright that is? This one is catching up. I just turned this one up and see how much darker that is? So this is all kind of the history of hydraulics. So I'm going to turn this off, but at least we're getting some movement of heat here. So it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon now. Looking in the kiln, I can see cone 4, cone 5, cone 6, cone 7 are all lying down flat. Cone 8 is just starting to bend, and we still have 9 and 10. So we're doing awfully well. The kiln is not reducing much yet. I'll give it a little bit of reduction when I get a little bit further along. But this is one of those days that's just kind of perfect. You sort of look up at the trees, and if you see just a little bit of motion, right now it's probably only about, you can see with that pine tree that there's just a little bit of air moving, maybe 2 or 3 miles an hour, but there's no humidity, and we have just a little bit of a breeze, which is the perfect condition for firing, for temperature to raise. Okay, 5 o'clock. I'll be back to you in a little bit. So right now, cone 9 is down flat, and cone 10 is bending. And I'm going to just let cone 10 go down a little bit more. This grouping of cones is pretty high up in the furnace. It's in the top quarter quadrant of the furnace. So I'm going to let this get a little bit hotter than I might. But as far as saying, gee, I wonder if we're getting to temperature, this is what a stoneware kiln looks like when it's pretty much done. We've got all those nice cones are all flat except for a cone 10. So whoopee! Okay. So it's 6:48 in the evening of 9/11, and right now the cones are all down. Cone 10 itself is a little bit more than I usually do. It's not fully down, but it's a little bit above half down, which is a good strong cone 10. And I'm going to turn off the burners, and then I'm going to box up the burner ports after I put in I have these shelves, I'll show you. So you see that shelf sitting down here? I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to put it in this little crack in the side of I wonder if you can see where the flame is coming out. You see that little crack there? You can almost see how much flame is going in through the fire trough and coming out the chimney. So I'm going to get in there now. Okay, so the next time you see me, we're going to be pulling this kiln apart. Look at all that heat. Isn't that wonderful? So there we are. We'll see how successful this is. With the day being this beautiful, I have very good feelings about this kiln, but we'll see. Okay, everybody. We'll talk to you when we're unloading. So this kiln is pretty hot, so I'm not going to lean in, but I hope you can see. Maybe I can just get in. He says as he melts the camera. So it'll be very interesting to see if I can lighten this up a little bit. But as you can see, those cones, there's one that's, leaned over more than half, and that's cone 10, which means it was at 2,335 degrees, or a little bit more. And here's that Celadon we were excited about. And down here, that big putz. The Celadon there got a lot of smoke from the burner port, which has turned that into quite a green version of Celadon. And I'm going to start unloading, and then we'll talk some more. Well, after getting out that first shelf, you can sort of see in a lot more. And let's see. I'm really scared of burning the camera, but aren't those pretty? So that's a Tomba glaze on the outside and that wonderful Sato on the inside. The one with the celadon on the outside is on a porcelain. So when you see the Sato on the inside, it's really, really good. And I'm sorry the light isn't perfect, but this is a very successful firing. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, so this is the end. There's the pot sitting right at the fire mouth. We'll know what that looks like in a minute. And these really got hot enough, which it helps that I see all that space I left. Well, that's why. And then the ones up top are just great. So very successful firing. So here they are. I still have that little bit to get out, but I really, really like this one. That's the queen of the firing for me. And the one next to it, I like too. The one above it was sort of the spectacular one of the firing, and this will be a fast sell, let's just say, that bigger one. So we're starting with the bigger pot, and then here's that little turtle. I ended up putting Sato on it because it's sort of an architecturally strong decoration. I wanted to sort of wash it out a little bit. I like the result. This is what the celadon looks like. I think it's just a great glaze. Lizzie's walked off with a lot of them for Christmas presents. I'm going to walk around. Red wares and salt glaze. And here we go. So here's, I'm going to probably have to turn down the heat of the lighting on this. I love this one. Man, there's just too much light on this, I think. I might be able to soften it up. This is my favorite out of the firing, I think. That brown one in the middle. And then down below. So this is quite a firing. And then, there we go. And that one's pretty nice too. I like the way the rim, I made this one in 2018, I think. Am I right? 2008. So this has been sitting around quite a while waiting to get a fire. I remember I had to wash it to get the dust off of it. Okay, you guys. Well, and I'll do a few shots just for at the end of, with the plain camera, because I think they're going to be better pictures. Okay. Thank you so much for coming along on this adventure, and we'll talk to you another time. Bye.